Yo, Nick from BioGear. Today we're going to be doing a casual review on a couple speakers that were sent to me from a company called Divoom. This is the TimeBox Evo, and this is the Ditoo Plus. Personally, I'm taking a good liking to the Ditoo Plus, as I really love the form factor being this cute little computer-shaped speaker. And it's definitely a neat prop, something that I actually really like having on my desk and using in some of my YouTube videos here, because it just makes such a good prop. But yeah, pretty neat little speaker. Let's take a look at it and walk through some of these features. Alright, so one of the most noteworthy features of this thing is that it can store and use a few different GIFs and stuff that you download and use in it. The app is a very key component to this device, so basically a lot of the stuff that you use on this speaker can be done through the app. This also includes being able to use an alarm clock, coloring your own pixels, all kinds of stuff. Honestly, to be truthful, there's a lot more in this app that this thing can do than I'm ever gonna use. So as you can see here, you do have some programmable options that you can do with this sucker. It'll have a few baked in emotes and GIFs already, and then there's a lot you can do through an app, through either iOS or Android apps, and you can set what you want the screen to do by either making it yourself or downloading from a community of people that have made their own GIFs and stuff as well. So that is definitely a function of this thing that makes it pretty useful for filming and background props, as well as just a nice desk prop. Personally, I'm pretty simple, and my favorite is just the clock. I think it's a neat looking little clock. Again, I think that this little computer makes a great background prop and office prop, and it's just a neat little addition to the desk. So another key thing is that it is a speaker, and you would hope that speakers sound good when you're using them. And these do. Specifically, the Ditoo Plus sounds really good to me. The Evo Plus sounds pretty good. This is a much shallower unit, obviously, and I don't think it produces as much full audio as the Ditoo Plus does. But obviously there is also a drawback of them. I don't believe there's any kind of waterproofing on these units at all. They do have screens in them, and I don't think they're waterproof. But as far as just a normal desk goes, especially like for me, where you'd probably see this sitting on my desk most of the time, the sound is good, and I do enjoy using it to listen to some music that's on my phone instead of using my desk speakers or just whatever room I'm in. Granted, computer speakers always going to sound way better, but Bluetoothing these to any other device in your house is a nice benefit. Alright, so starting with the track on computer. Don't know what your takeaway can be from that, if you can even really hear much of a difference through this microphone, but this speaker actually does sound pretty good. Not quite as full, obviously, as desk speakers as you'd never expect it to, but compared to a lot of other speakers that I've had and come across, like, I mean, I've got like a Sony XB speaker that's about like $25. This sounds a lot better than that speaker does. Granted, though, this doesn't have any waterproofing on it, but I don't think that's quite what the design is. Alright, so both these devices, thank gosh, they charge with Type-C. The TimeBox Evo has a better spot, in my opinion, for the cord, right in the back. The speaker location on this one is not as good because it's, again, right in the back. So a possible reason why I'm saying this is not great, but also great, is that if this is your desk prop and you do use this more for the screen than you do the speakers, you can put the cord behind it and tuck it and cable route and everything. You won't see the cable because it's charged in the back. The Ditoo Plus, which has better audio in my opinion and looks cooler, it charges from the side. So if you do plug the charger into this thing, just remember it has to be routed off to the side of this thing. You may want to get a 90-degree cable or something so you can do better cable management, but that is an unfortunate drawback when it should have just probably been on the back of this device. Something else that's neat though, the Divoom Ditoo Plus has a spot for a micro SD card. So if you're like my dad, who's very old school, he likes to load music onto SD cards and play through his plays music through those devices. He would probably love this. If you're new school like me, you just Bluetooth it like you probably normally would, and that would be that ends that issue. So being clicky up front here on the on both devices, they have different button layouts. Obviously, the TimeBox Evo is much more traditional with your play button, play and pause. up and down on volume, the clock button, which does, if you hold it, go to a timer, and yeah, then there's this little button with a picture of what looks like a brightness emblem, and that will switch you between other functions as well. So a lot baked in here for sure. Definitely more use out of this thing than I'm ever going to get. But personally, I think it's just a neat little prop to sit down and look cool. And again, I like using it as a clock. That makes it really fun for me. Now, the Ditoo Plus does have this cute little rocker right here, which only goes down, which is play and pause. And then you have all the rest of your buttons doing different modes, different things on this one. So that about wraps these suckers up. I think they're neat little props. Again, best suited for me more for appearance than they are for sound. The sound is still very good on them, but obviously these things have a really unique feature, which is the screens and the programming for that. So there's a lot you can do with these suckers. If you go through the app, definitely visit Divoom's website, and you can probably see, or just download the app on your phone and take a look at all the functions that they do have as well. And yeah, if you have any questions, drop them down below. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.